As our chopper just zoomed out, you can kind of get a really good sense of just how high it is there. We're counting the stories right now to see how high he is. It's like 9 or 10 stories up that this worker is stuck in some scaffolding as this rescue operation is underway. This has all been unfolding not very long now, as we've been watching it. There are some road closures you should know about if you're in the Sarasota Avenue. Gulfstream Avenue is closed from the 700 block north to Main Street while all of this is going on. If you have friends, family, anybody going into this area or trying to come out anytime soon for the afternoon commute, maybe to take a lunch break, again, know that there are some road closures as this rescue is going on. Again, Gulfstream Avenue closed from the 700 block north to Main Street. And our chopper just zoomed in for you too. You see them kind of swinging some kind of rope, some kind of line, safety line. Again, this rescue is going on right now. A couple attempts there they've made to swing this line to get some rescue personnel there to try and get a hold of it. They've been unsuccessful. Again, they just kind of keep swinging it back and forth to connect that way. If you're just joining us, this is coming to you out of Sarasota right now. A worker is stuck in some scaffolding, 9, maybe 10 stories up. The worker is not hurt, but you have a number of people right now working to bring him down to safety. And again, you're watching this all unfold here live on our ABC Action News Facebook page. Our chopper is up live over this scene. It looks like they were able to grasp that line there, that they took a couple attempts to swing back and forth. This is all part of the rescue effort going on right now. This is in the 600 block of Palm Avenue in Sarasota where this is all going on. It's unclear right now what this building is we're looking at here. We know the location. We know it's in Sarasota. Obviously some work being done on it. This is a worker that is stuck in the scaffolding. Stay with us for these live pictures as we kind of watch this unfold, and we're going to bring you updates periodically as we get them in. Ashley Glass coming to you again live from the ABC Action News newsroom as we're watching this rescue unfold here on our Facebook page. We're watching it live as our chopper is up over the scene. We just learned a little bit more about the bearings about this area. This is a new condo complex that's under construction here. This has all been going on for just about an hour max. We've been seeing this unfold. A worker is stuck in some scaffolding, and the rescue attempt is going on right now. This is 9, maybe 10 stories up. Again, this is a new condo building that's being constructed on Palm Avenue. There are some road closures. Gulfstream Avenue closed from the 700 block north to Main Street. Tell your family, tell your friends who are going to try and be driving around in this area in Sarasota this afternoon. The good news here is this worker is said to be not hurt and actually tied to some safety lines. So the worker seems to be secure, although stuck. So you see these people kind of working to bring him down to safety. We're still waiting on a news conference to learn more about who this person is, maybe the circumstances under which he got stuck. But again, excuse me, this worker is stuck in some scaffolding. This is in Sarasota on Palm Avenue. We will continue to bring you updates as we watch this, but stay with us right here. Our chopper is going to stay right over this scene as this rescue effort is underway. Back to you from the ABC Action News newsroom. You're getting a really clear close-up picture of what's going on right there. We believe the worker is that man in the greenish yellow shirt with the white hard hat on, and you see a rescue personnel member there, really close to him, kind of helping him be secured there as he's stuck in the scaffolding. Our Jake Peterson is on the scene right there, our reporter, and he just confirmed for us this worker is stuck 10 stories up. The building in its entirety is an 18-story condo complex that's obviously under construction. But again, 10 stories up is where this is all happening. The rescue attempt of a worker stuck in some scaffolding. He is not hurt. He is not hurt, but for about the last hour, these rescue firefighters, rescue personnel, they've been trying to figure out how to safely, secure him. I don't know if they're going to bring him straight down, if they're going to bring him through that opening. It looks like some sort of window back there. Again, this is a building under construction. So you got to wonder, what the safest, method of rescue is here. But again, for about an hour, we've been watching this go on. This man is not hurt. They're pretty still right now. It looks like they're kind of strategizing, trying to figure out what's next. But they're pretty still. You're getting a really close-up view of what's going on right now. Stay with us as we have this live pictures coming to you during this rescue. Another update here from the ABC Action News newsroom as we're watching this rescue of a worker going on right now. We just saw them sort of detach from some scaffolding. Excuse me, the worker was stuck in. And what you're seeing now is this worker and a rescue personnel member. They're being lowered down from more than 100 feet up in the air. This is 10 stories up in an 18-story condo complex under construction. This worker got stuck in some scaffolding, and you're watching them slowly bring him down to safety. And we are just getting some new information from emergency services in Sarasota County about how this man got stuck. So as you're watching him slowly being lowered to the ground, let me tell you a little bit more about how he got stuck. We were seeing a lot of questions from that on our Facebook page, people saying, how did this man get stuck? Well, Sarasota Emergency Services says one motor for the scaffolding would not shut off, continued to rise on one side, causing the scaffolding to be uneven. So it was imbalanced. It was not balanced properly due to, it sounds like, a motor that wouldn't shut off that kept rising when it shouldn't. Anyhow, the end result here, this worker got stuck in that scaffolding 10 stories up on this building. It took about an hour for the rescue personnel to get in place, and we saw a couple attempts. They had to swing some lines over to him to help secure him. But now we're slowly seeing him being lowered to the ground. Our Jake Peterson, our reporter, is at this scene at this very moment. He is busy kind of shooting video right here from the street view, from the ground angle, to show you throughout our newscast today. Excuse me, but Jake Peterson confirmed for us that this worker was stuck way up there, more than 100 feet, 10 stories up there. The area, this is the 600 block of Palm Avenue in Sarasota. And as you're watching them very, very slowly being lowered to the ground, if you are in this area, if you're planning to be out and about in this area today, if you have friends or family working in this area, there are some road closures as this, delicate rescue is going on. Gulfstream Avenue's closed from the 700 block north to Main Street. Police asking people avoid this area as this rescue is going on. As you can tell from, watching this live video, this man is not hurt. We've been seeing him move, communicating with this firefighter that's helping him down to the ground. They've been speaking and talking. We're told he is not hurt, but you got to imagine the terror being stuck in some scaffolding more than 100 feet up in the air as you're just kind of sitting there stationary waiting for this rescue to begin. And the rescue has begun as we're watching him slowly being lowered to the ground. Stay with us. I'm going to gather an update. I'll be right back. Ashley Glass again here from the ABC Action News newsroom. What you're seeing here is a rescue about halfway complete. Excuse me. A worker had been stuck in some scaffolding 10 stories up. We've slowly been watching as this man's being lowered to safety, kind of past the 5-story down mark, so about halfway through as we continue to watch this unfold. Coming back to you again from the ABC Action News newsroom. We are waiting for this man's feet to touch the ground to safety here. This is a worker who was working on a building under construction in Sarasota. Got stuck in some scaffolding. He's being lowered to safety here, and he is almost there. From 10 stories up, this rescue has been being conducted, and it looks like they are safely on the ground. That is the good news here. The conclusion of this worker not hurt, a delicate rescue from more than 100 feet up in the air. You just watched it live right here on ABC Action News on our Facebook page from our live view from our chopper there. This man being lowered to safety. We've been seeing him communicate with the firefighters as he was being lowered. He's moving around there. He is said to be unhurt. Certainly a terrifying ordeal, nonetheless. We have reporters there on scene who are certainly going to try and effort speaking with this man or speaking with some of those rescue personnel, firefighters that just lowered him to safety. And their handshakes and hugs are flowing right there. Sure signs of appreciation. They just, again, lowered this man to safety. He's kind of walking away from that right now. He said his thank yous. And you have to wonder, is he going to get back to work today? Hopefully he can take a breather after such an ordeal. Again, a new condo complex. Under construction. That man just had quite the ordeal. He's being looked at by paramedics, it looks like right now. Laid down on a stretcher there. Again, he's said to not be hurt, but they're going to want to check him out and just make sure. But we're seeing a lot of positive signs. We saw him communicating. We saw him shaking hands, hugging with the firefighters that lowered him to safety. And Action Air 1 is hovering above as this is happening. He's being loaded up into an ambulance right now. Again, not said to be injured, but going to be taken to the hospital, checked out nonetheless. You just watched it all unfold right here live on ABC Action News on our Facebook page. A man rescued from more than 100 feet up after getting stuck in some scaffolding. A motor seemed to have malfunctioned, causing an imbalance that resulted in him getting stuck. But after about an hour and a half, and this man has been slowly lowered from 10 stories up to safety, and you just saw it as he was loaded into the ambulance. We're going to be staying on top of this. We have a crew there at the scene to gather information, try and talk with some of the people involved in that rescue. And of course, we will bring you more starting at 4 o'clock on the Now Tampa Bay, as well as on ABC Action News starting new at 5 and 6 p.m. I'm going to leave you with these live pictures here as Action Air 1 is kind of zooming further and further out after this rescue of a worker was rescued 10 stories up. Again, you've been watching this view live on the ABC Action News Facebook page.
We made a determination through the company that's responsible for the building, as well as myself, to lower the person down to the ground, which was the safest alternative. Took a little longer because of that, but we wanted to make sure that everybody remained safe, and we're able to be successful today in doing so.
Second one in a month. Is that unusual? What were some of the challenges here today? And this is the second one in just a few weeks.
Certainly. The challenges here today was the scaffolding itself. When we determined to lower the person from the scaffolding and the rescuer, we want to make sure those ropes that we're using are clear of the scaffolding that remains on the side of the building. So we need to put a line on those people and pull them over to one side so that we can lower them in a safe manner, which takes a little bit more time, but we wanted, again, be safe and secure. So that's what we did. That was a little bit different than raising the person last month. Last month, the question would be, how come we've had two in a month? That's the nature of the business. There's a lot of construction going on within Sarasota County. It is a success story if you look at it from a number of factors. The person here was in his safety harness. Mechanical things happen to scaffolding and motors and so forth, but when you're in your harness and you're safe, these are the good things that happen. We're able to lower him down. He is being evaluated by our medical crews to make sure there are no other issues, but we are looking at this as a success story.
But still, you must have some safety concerns.
Can you take us through the procedure once he's lowered down to the location person, what goes on from there?
Right, the 30-minute time gap, we were in contact with the person on the scaffolding the whole time. He was talking to us, he was uninjured, so we were telling him that we were bringing resources in to tie off to the top of the building, making the determination of the best course of action, and all the while we were in contact with that person. Once we made the determination to lower our rescuer down to the person on the scaffolding, I won't call him a patient because he was uninjured, but he was on the scaffolding. We wanted to make sure we did that in a safe and efficient manner, which causes a lot of resources to arrive, a lot of coordination by radio, by our special operations rope team, and making sure all of that goes well so that we get a successful outcome.
Do you have any concerns from the safety aspect? You have two similar accidents in a sense, two similar accidents on the scaffolding in less than a month. Any safety concerns?
There's always safety concerns when you're on the side of a building. That's why they have harnesses, because motors do fail. And in this case, speaking to the foreman, it appears that the motor failed, and the one that it looks like it dropped, it didn't. That was actually where they were. The other motor went up, and they were unable to stop that. So the one side went up, and the other side was fine. So while it looks like one failed and it dropped and fell, in actuality, it was raised on one side. They were able to shut the motor down and then go from there. We do have people on site that are going to take a look at those motors to see if there's things that could be done to prevent this in the future. That is an industry issue, and we're here to take care of the issues as they arrive, and we did so today.
Do you have any knowledge of the person safety regulations that they have to be in compliance with anything?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry?
Do you have any knowledge of whether they were in compliance with any safety regulations that need to be in place? Any mechanical check or anything of that nature?
Right. The entire time I was in conversation with the foreman who's responsible for the building, he was also saying this is a success story, in that the person on the scaffolding was in their safety harness like they're required to do. The ropes are apparently all new. What they were using is what I was told. So those are all good things. We end up taking the person on the scaffolding out of their safety harness and put him in ours, because we know exactly what ours can do than going on the word of somebody else. So we want to make sure that we take every precaution necessary to take care of the issue. I was not up there to hear the conversation. What we normally do is make contact, determine the mental status of anybody who's on the side of a building and what their needs are right then and there. I can tell you that there was not a lot of stress or concern. Again, he was in a safety harness, and we told him that we would be down to him shortly, and we wanted to take time. So to be patient, he was, and everything worked out.